Okay, so hello, Tino and Alan from Of Mice and Men.
Greetings.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good.
Awesome.
Nice. You've only done a couple of dates on the tour so far. We're in Nottingham now.
2, yeah.
Yeah, how have they been, those two?
Insane.
Really?
Yeah, the reception's been awesome. We just put out our new album, Cold World.
Yeah.
And this is the first time that we're bringing these new songs over to the UK and Europe. And we're just really excited, to be out here and seeing the fan reception and their interactions with us. It's really encouraging, and we've spent so much time working on the album.
Yeah.
That now getting to play it in front of these audiences, it's translating much better than we even expected. So thank you to the fans and everyone that's listening. It's been so good so far.
So let's talk about the album a bit. You said Cold World. Sorry. So do you think that's different? Do you think maybe it's been received differently to other albums that you've done? Because you've been on tour many times, all over the place. Do you think it's been received differently to other albums? Do you think it's had a sort of warmer reception, and if so, why do you think that is?
I think that every album gets a different reception because every album that we make is made under different circumstances, as well as written with a different thought process in mind. With each album, we really like to, I guess, challenge ourselves to try new things sonically and to see, I guess, to put our intentions and our ideas to the test and try and create something that's different. And I feel like each album is going to be received differently. I don't think in a sense of better or worse. That wouldn't be the reception. Yeah. So for us, it's absolutely been received differently because it's a completely different album, and it's kind of like it was meant to provoke thought, and it wasn't meant for the instant gratification of like oh my god, everyone gets it and it's going to be a big thing. Like there's a lot of undertones and moodiness and darkness to the record that won't come across right away. That does take 2 or 3 or 4 listens before it kind of pops out. And I think we're starting to see those people that have been listening to the record now. It's been out 2 weeks-ish. And we're starting to get those people that are like, oh my God, I'm understanding, and blah, blah, blah. And it's exactly what we made this record for.
So yeah. Well, that brings me perfectly on to the next question. Fans must mean everything. As a band, as a rock band touring all over the place, it must mean everything to have loyal fans. So do fans influence the music that you write, and how do they? Or is it just kind of your ideas and then the fans kind of go with that because they like that? Yeah. What does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. Me personally, when I write music, I try not to think about anybody else. I like to just play what I think sounds cool, and knowing that we're going to be the ones playing it on tour every night. So I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, you want everyone to be happy, and you want to write songs and like be like, oh, I know that someone who likes our band won't like this, or they will like that, or whatever. And there's times when you're writing music where you're like, yeah, I definitely can't put this on a Mice and Men song, like no one will get it or whatever. But I don't know, writing music for me is a very personal thing. So
I feel like it really does start out personally because it'll be something that we all kind of craft in our head, and once we put it together and everyone's working on it together, it starts to find its purpose, and a lot of that comes from the lyrical content too. That that's kind of where like the fans can connect with it, because those are the words that are being used and describing what you're supposed to feel during the song. So I think once that kind of starts to come into play, then we kind of realize how this will fit in with what our fans come to expect from Mice and Men, and what we would like to show them too that we can do as well.
Okay, and influences. Let's talk a bit about that. There's sort of like Slipknot influences on there. Is that something you might agree with? So,
yeah,
for sure.
All sorts of 90s heavy music.
Yeah. Totally. So what kind of other things? And why is it that you do you just love that music, and that's kind of why you're so heavily influenced by it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the music that we all grew up on. We were all growing up in the 90s, and I feel like a lot of that music, you kind of go and you kind of ebb and flow with like musical taste through the years. Like when you're a young kid, a lot of the times you don't listen to the same stuff that you did then, and let's say 10 years later or 20 years later. And I think for us, we wanted to reference a sound and artists that we felt like made records that were sonically organic, and that making rock music to rock the world, not just to be popular or something like that. Like, they made really important music that's lasted decades. And when we think about inspirations and stuff like that, we're looking at musicians and artists that have been able to make a career and have families and make music for decades. And for us, those are the kind of people that we get inspired by, because we feel like we're musicians of that same, we want to be on that same path.
Yeah.
So we look up to the people that have done that before. And, you know, a lot of the stuff we were listening to went from Slipknot and what was some other, like, super heavy
Alice
stuff?
in
Yeah, Alice in Chains, Tool, Perfect Circle, Nine Inch Nails, just dark, moodier stuff that we felt like was really connecting with everything that we were going through at the time, and what ended up making Cold World. I think you can really hear a lot of those different influences that helped guide us through that, you know, making that album.
And let's just quickly talk about the name of Mice and Men. I'm sure you've been asked a couple of times about it. It's because of the book title. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, partially. It's the book title, as well as it comes from the quote, "The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry," and that Mark Twain said that. And we feel like that kind of personifies with the band a lot. And maybe when we first named the band, we didn't realize how much that would, how much we would grow into our name, I guess. And for us, it's about persistence, and it's about pushing through anything life throws at you, you have to overcome it. You know, like the best laid plans, it's often, you know, not going to be the way you want it to go, but if you want to achieve, and then it ties into the book, you want to achieve your American dream or your dream, you have to always fight for it, and you have to overcome the obstacles that are put in front of you.
And are there any other sort of literary things that come along with any lyrics that you've written, or anything that sort of anything from books? Because I mean, it's so much to say that music influences you, but there must be all sorts of things. So film and TV or literature.
Sure, yeah, we draw a lot of influence from all different kinds of stuff. And Austin's always reading. Aaron's read, I'm talking probably millions of books. It's insane. But yeah, I mean, there's so many different influences. I mean, we're sponges to everything that piques, or you know what I mean, that gets us excited. That piques our interest, and we'll for sure use all that for influence.
Well, thank you. It's been fantastic to speak to you. Good luck with the show. Good luck with the rest of the tour, and you're going on tour with the Day to Remember, aren't you, soon in Australia? So that should be fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.